You know, I never wanted you guys to know this, but after last night, I don't think I can hide it anymore. When I was younger, I actually did work at a pizzeria, and I wanted to keep that to myself. But after sweeping the pizzeria picks, going raw dog at the pizzeria, taking off the gloves, and showing you I know my way around a garlic knot, I think I have to come clean and let you know I worked at a pizzeria. Me and my friend, I had a couple friends who worked at the same pizzeria. We nicknamed it Slangin' Pies. We like, you slangin' pies tonight? So slangin' pies was what we used to do. And last night I was slangin' pies in terms of the pizzeria.
What did I tell you about those Oilers? McDavid's looking up beachfront property this time of year. That's $3 for the slice and $3.20 for the Oilers.
And I know how it goes. You sweep that pizzeria board, you have tons of people looking for those similar types of pizzeria picks, and I will have them for you. I will do my best because I'm not that different from you. When you're hot somewhere, you kind of want to stay in that lane. Only one or two of the point props came through last night. So if the pizzeria is where the oven is heating up, then I'll try to take things back to the pizzeria. But I got to be honest, I do my same process as always. I went to the player props. I saw some great values, and it's always going to be easier to hit those great values and the high price parlays associated with them rather than sweating through an under 1.5 in that Washington game. Although I'm happy that you got to do that because you did see you can take an under 1.5 in the first period. You can hit that and still hit your Connor McMichael plus 130 points. So you don't have to do one or the other. So I was happy that you were able to see that. But as far as this Tuesday goes, you know how it goes. A lot of games on the slate. And before I'm talking pizzeria, I do want to talk about the one game where I saw a bunch of stiffs kind of stand out because for me, yes, I'm going to give you the best pizzeria picks that I can. I don't really play them because to me, I want to hit some solid values. I'd rather lose all my point props knowing that in a few short nights, I can hit some big ones, and it's going to make that back and more and cover the donkey lines and all that stuff. So that's why I'll always remain focused on that because that's where the best high price values typically are. And I see a bunch of them in this New Jersey Devils Tampa Bay Lightning game. Now, about a week or two ago, I told you, like, I might listen. I know if it starts with a minus, you guys, you just don't want to listen. It's plus or I'm not listening. And I said, trust me, come on, it's worth it. Take Nikita Kucherov for a point. Take Braden Point for a point. Yeah, they're minus 105, but this is such a rarity to see them so close to even. Well, now we've surpassed that. I can't remember the last time I got to take Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov for a point at plus 110, which is what I'm seeing them at on this slate. This is something guaranteed auto bet. This will be my favorite bet of the night. This is like taking McKinnon and Lehkonen for a point, and it weaseled its way up to plus 105. So much of this Tampa Bay offense runs through Kucherov. Kucherov's always playing with point, getting them at plus 110 at home against the Devils. I'm absolutely taking that. And then on the other side, I see two values with the Devils. Two good values that I want to talk about. The first of which is a defenseman, Simon Nemec. He's taking over the top power play spot for Luke Hughes. And he's a guy who he scored a hat trick the other night. A defenseman who kind of was up and down and hasn't been living up to expectation, although he's very young, still has plenty of time. Scored a hat trick. That's the type of defenseman. I know many defensemen, I'm looking for their assist because they're moving it to their left, moving it to their right. Not in this case. When a guy scores a hat trick, I will take that guy if he's on that top power play for a point at plus 130 something. And then rather than add Brat or something like that, I'm just going to add 2 shots on goal for a guy who scored a hat trick. So this is not somebody scared to shoot the puck. Point, 2 shots on goal. That's north of plus 300 for Simon Nemec of the New Jersey Devils. Then let's go to Detroit, where I get to see my good old friend Stevie Bong Rips, where the Detroit Red Wings are going to be taking on the Seattle Kraken. I got news for you, Stevie. This is a first. I know many times I've talked about the October Warriors, haven't found the exact spot that I've wanted to back your Detroit Red Wings. In this spot against what I believe is an overrated Seattle Kraken team, their record is good, but so is the Islanders. And, eventually time runs out on those type of teams. Detroit is a team that absolutely can use home ice to their advantage because their mega top line is literally doing they're doing everything, or Detroit's probably losing. You're talking about Larkin, Debrincat, Raymond. Remember when we were talking about potentially taking Raymond and Larkin for a point, getting them at plus 115, actually being excited about it because Raymond missed a couple games, so then he was minus 140, and then you can use that with Larkin. Yeah, well, now look at the three of those guys, all around minus 200. So that's not a possibility, but fortunately for you, this is kind of where I want to go with one of those pizzeria picks. And I would like Detroit to win in this game against the Seattle Kraken. Probably not a price that you like. So they might not take this at the pizzeria, but you know one of my tricks if I like a team to win, it's taking that team to win. And if that top line is literally doing everything for the team, then give me one member of that top line. I mean, if Detroit's winning, that top line, once again, as they have in the last two games, they're all registering points. So give me the guy who's going to take this Red Wings money line to an even money bet, Alex Debrincat. Give me Detroit Red Wings and Alex Debrincat for a point against the Seattle Kraken.
Whoa, what's this, a novel? You see a points column on that board? Nah, it's money lines only here. You want player props? Take that Debrincat point to Gigi's Pizzeria down the street.
Oh, well, okay, all right. Sorry, Tony. So sorry I even suggested that. So fine. Then give me the over 3.5 goals for the Detroit Red Wings. You're going to make me do that? That's what I did with Columbus last night. That's what I'll have to slap you with. Even though I don't love doing that against the Kraken, go ahead. Give me the over 3.5 goals for Stevie Bong Rips and his Detroit Red Wings. I know I'm getting a D. Anytime I do something like this, I get a DM, all caps excitement from Stevie. So looking forward to it, Stevie. I got your guys for the win over Seattle on this Tuesday. I wish I had as much confidence in my team as Stevie does in his. Doesn't matter. I mean, they could just not make the playoffs year after year, go on a losing streak. He has them minimum in the Eastern Conference Final. New York Islanders have played very well. I mean, they played great on this road trip, almost took Colorado to overtime, had a lead on Colorado. So I'm bought in, right? Right? No, sorry, Willy Wonka, wrong. No, I think the shoe is about to drop. Whenever I saw somebody comment on a Dave and a Dan, the shoe is about to drop. I've never heard that one before. That's a saying. And you're right. I got to bring that up to Dave tomorrow when we film a Dave and a Dan, because we used to love trying to guess where sayings came from. But while we're here, where do you think that saying comes from? The other shoe is about to drop. Why were shoes just dropping? Let me know in the comments. Why were shoes dropping so much to the point that it actually became a saying, or was it just nonsense? So the New York Islanders, the shoe is about to drop at some point, and typically it takes that one loss. Like you can ask Anaheim, they lost one to Colorado. No big deal. We lost to a really good team. Then that was followed up by another loss on the road and another loss on the road. Road losses tend to compound, and you see that a lot around the NHL. The Islanders won a bunch on their road trip, then took that loss to Colorado, a close loss. I think after close losses, you start expanding the size of those losses as that road trip continues. I mean, is this the 6th game or the 5th game of this road trip? So they've been on the road a while, although you could argue not really, because the first couple games were in New Jersey and New York, so they were still technically sleeping in their own beds. But they've been on the road for a decent bit, lost the last game. I'm going to take them to lose this game against a Dallas team who's really, they're just pumping in goals lately, and the Islanders are not a team, unless they're getting unbelievable goaltending, that I think's keeping a ton of pucks out of their net. So I will go with the Dallas Stars to win this game, and once again, you do not like the price. Hey, look, you didn't like that Carolina price, so we gave you them with the under 7.5. That was fine. I gave you the Debrincat point. So around here, just give me that Wyatt Johnston point. Dallas Stars, Wyatt Johnston point, plus 100 to beat the New York Islanders. But then over there on those New York Islanders, I'm seeing... Look, I already told you. I know the Islanders have a good record. I have minimal expectations. In fact, I want the year to go awful, because this kid's a stud. It's a deep draft. We have a couple first-round picks already. No, I want another top 10 pick. Regardless, Matthew Schaefer is coming in once again north of plus 130 for a point. And I bring this up not because I'm an Islander fan, not because... Go click on any of these other games. Why is Luke Hughes minus 110 for a point? He's not even on the top power play. I just told you we're taking Nemec before. So why is Luke Hughes Well, I mean, Jack Hughes isn't even out there anymore, so they're this team who probably is not going to be able to score as easily as they were before. Why is he minus 110? And why is Matthew Schaefer, who's leading all NHL defensemen in goals? No, not rookies, not these guys. No, all NHL defensemen, he's leading in goals. Well, I mean, this is just blatant disrespect. It's too much disrespect for a guy who has this many points. The number one goal scorer for defensemen is plus 130 something for a point. No Islanders bias. You know he's came through for you before, and that's just a price that you have to say yes to. I mean, the Nemec thing, I'm trying to drop at you saying, look at this. He's got this opportunity. Isn't it great that he's plus 130? Yeah, because we have to see it for, right? Nobody's seen Nemec on this top power play, so we're trying to envision how it's going to go. We're getting that same Nemec price on a guy, how we know how it looks. We know how he plays, and we know he's been able to capitalize so many times already. So give me that Matthew Schaefer point, and then also throw in that Barzal assist for my, outside of the power play. You know what this motion is. They are the two perimeter, there are two quarterbacks on every power play. Everybody always says he's quarterbacking it, but there's always that 1B guy who's controlling it almost just as much. This is the 1A, 1B tandem of the Islanders power play. It's Matthew Barzal for an assist, Matthew Schaefer for a point. That is not correctly priced. I'm sorry. The Islanders can lose this game 5-2. And yet that can easily hit one useless power, like the Boston Bruins. They were getting shut out. They scored a useless goal for 3 seconds left. That's what can happen, and you can just nail a plus 400 like it's no big deal. So these will always be the better values. I know you want to go pizzeria hunting. I get it. Garlic knots, they taste good, but you pop one, you keep doing them, and all of a sudden you look disgusting. So I'm going to go with the Matthew Schaefer point. And just because I am a sick individual who enjoys you guys suffering, but then eventually being rewarded for your suffering, like you probably did last night during the Kings-Washington under 1.5 first period total, I'm going to give you another under 1.5 first period total so you can sweat the entire second half of that first period like you had to last night. Hey, like apple a day keeps it down. An under a day keeps away the pirate parlay. I don't know. But this Calgary Flames, Chicago Blackhawks game, Calgary, whether they're winning 2-0 or losing 2-0, this is a team that does not score a ton. And I think the game in Chicago, it seems like a low event game. Always a chance that that's not the case. But I'm going to take the miserable under 1.5 first period total in the game between the Calgary Flames and the Chicago Blackhawks. But let's be honest. You're a kind of guy who likes to win or lose very quickly. You don't have to watch the whole game. It's one period. 20-something minutes of game time, little under an hour. You'll know if you win or you lost. I'm going with the under 1.5 between the Calgary Flames and the Chicago Blackhawks, and that is what I have for you here on a Tuesday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed here if you are enjoying these pizzeria picks. All the videos that I'm putting out on the channel, all the late night bunker parlay props that I'm digging for so that you guys can have them in the middle of the night. You can show your appreciation that I'm just looking more sleep deprived on a daily basis by clicking the like, commenting something, even if it's just the word something. I'll comment something back to you or something, just so we can get that algorithm, it's like the Titanic, got to start throwing coal in that algorithm. So whatever you want to put down there, greatly appreciate it. And you guys know how it is with the favors, the tier 1 favors, like, comment, subscribe, click notifications. Tier 2 favor, if you'd be so kind, click that hype button so that YouTube thinks, oh my God, we should be showing this to other people. Now, maybe we won't, and we don't care. This is all a big lie. But in the event they're not lying, please click that hype button. I think it helps out. I'll never know when I'm dead. That's one of the questions I'm going to ask. That'd be a ridiculous thing to ask. And then the tier 3 favor, you can be a lone sponsor. You can help me out. I don't need to go, beg other people. I don't need to then tell you guys to go to some wacky sports books who's paying me to say, just tell them to go to my wacky sports book. I could always be honest and say, screw these people, screw those people. Why? Because you're footing the bill for it, and every last one of you is appreciated. You can do that by signing up over at patreon.com/AndyFrancis. And as I always like to say, there are trickle-down benefits. You get the weekend sniffs. You get all these sniffs earlier, plus sniffs that come out in the day when I see the morning skates and the practice reports. I add to the sniffs if there's something worthwhile. And then there's also the community of sniffers on there. I mean, if you thought you broke the Guinness Book of World Records for legs in a parlay, you ain't even close. You ain't even close to some of them. 9 screenshots until they get to the end of their pirate parlay. So I hope to see you over there. If not, I will see you for the next round of NHL Sniffs. You know, every once in a while I can try to get them on a Wednesday. I got to film Dave and a Dan. So, you know, I understand there aren't unlimited hours in a day. I have to take care of those things. But you guys know Josh does his show on Wednesdays. You could always check out his show and Carlos. So make sure you check that. I know many of you do, but you know, he's also as good as it gets. So show him some love over there, but I'll try to make a Wednesday video. No promise, but like I mentioned before, you want those trickle-down benefits, the sniffs will be on the Patreon regardless. Hopefully I see you there. I'll see you tomorrow or the next day. If not, take it easy.